Do you find that Mr. Depp has proven all the elements of defamation? Answer, yes.
After just 3 days of deliberations, the jury hands a stunning win to Johnny Depp.
Well, it was justice for Johnny Depp, or was it justice for Johnny Depp? The actor famously was suing his ex-wife, Amber Heard, in a Virginia courtroom. He sued her for $50 million over a 2018 op-ed that she wrote for the Washington Post, in which she claimed to be a survivor of domestic abuse. Depp said that the article ruined his career, led to a slew of canceled film projects, including a sixth Pirates of the Caribbean movie. He was also dumped from Fantastic Beasts, Harry Potter spinoff as well.
As against Amber Heard, we, the jury, award compensatory damages in the amount of $10 million. As against Amber Heard, we, the jury, award punitive damages in the amount of $5 million.
Heard was found to have defamed Depp on all 3 counts of defamation, but she also won her defamation countersuit for a false statement made by Depp's former lawyer and was awarded $2 million.
I'm here with Workley Law founder Sunira Chaudhri and Sun columnist. We're going to break it all down. First of all, Ms. Chaudhri, were you surprised by the verdict?
I was surprised at the amount of damages that Depp was awarded here. $10 million, huge amount. Not surprised to see the defamation, the finding of defamation. I think largely because we saw that this op-ed in the Washington Post back in 2018 was really a PR exercise that Heard orchestrated with the ACLU on the heels of her Aquaman movie. It certainly was meant to out Johnny Depp, despite the fact that it didn't name him. I think there was substantial evidence at court that it was certainly about him. But what did shock me was the $10 million award. We didn't get to hear a breakdown from the jury as to how they landed on that number. And, I think what Depp had some difficulty with is establishing his true losses. We didn't see from the Pirates of the Caribbean 6 a contract confirming that he was, on for that film or how much he lost. His evidence was that it was $22.5 million, although there was no contract signed. So I did think that he was going to have some difficulty establishing the true amount of damages. I thought he was really bringing this trial and this case forward as a message, a strong message, probably not expecting a lot in the way of damages. But I think a lot of lawyers are sitting back pretty shocked by that $10 million price tag.
Ms. Heard's lawyer said this morning on the Today Show that the actress is going to appeal the verdict. Ms. Chaudhri, how likely of a chance does she have of finding success?
I think that's the biggest issue in cases like this. I think Johnny Depp sued her for $50 million, knowing she didn't have that $50 million. It was a real strong message to send to her. But, there are tools that the court can use here. Garnishing wages, placing liens on properties. They're not just going to be looking in her bank account. Frankly, this could be very, very financially troubling for Ms. Heard, because there are many tools courts can look into and award the plaintiff to extract as much income as possible. It could be the selling of assets. It could be garnishing future wages from future film projects that Ms. Heard might already be involved in. So not only is it going to look at what she has now, if Depp is ultimately successful, whether there's an appeal or not, the powers of the court are pretty strong. They're pretty, they can really encroach into her lifestyle. And this could be financially ruinous for Amber Heard.
We are grateful, so grateful to the jury for their careful deliberation. Mr.
Depp said that the jury gave him his life back. How does someone come back from something like this, though? I mean, he was at one point one of the biggest stars on the planet. Do you see a rush of directors and producers wanting to work with Mr. Depp again?
In the opening arguments of this trial, I think Johnny Depp's lawyer, Ben Chu, said it best. A lot of studios are really reluctant to work with actors that have been shrouded in sexual assault allegations in the Me Too movement, caught in that net. And I do think this is going to set the Me Too movement just really back on its heels. We are no longer going to immediately believe allegations. We're seeing the other side of Me Too, which is if you levy allegations against someone that you cannot prove to be true, there can be serious consequences. And Johnny Depp is a living example of that. I still think there's going to be stigma around him. There were certainly some negatives that came out for Johnny Depp as part of this trial. Really a lot of attention to his drug and alcohol use and abuse over the last number of decades. So that's going to have a sting and a stain on his reputation for sure. But I think what he's ultimately happy about is that he didn't get caught ultimately in that Me Too net or that web. And he's really recast how Me Too is going to be looked at going forward, especially in Hollywood.
There was a lot of online chatter surrounding this case. How much do you think that influenced the jury? I know they're supposed to be, not looking at the internet, not looking at Twitter, not looking at social media, but do you think it played a role in their decision?
I think it absolutely did. I think it was very hard to ignore. It really took society by storm. Many of us were following this case very closely. It made its way onto TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, every single social media platform. But what was scary about this case is a lot of people didn't know what it was about. We saw hashtags like #Depp is innocent. People didn't realize that this was Depp suing Heard. I think some people actually thought it was a criminal trial. A lot of people didn't understand the basis of the trial, what it was actually about. And so that created narratives that were extremely polarizing in favor or worshiping Johnny Depp and really casting Amber Heard in a negative light. And that was certainly dangerous. We saw at least one witness getting bounced from the trial after admitting to seeing portions of the trial on social media. It was really, really hard to avoid. I think it was very difficult for this judge to jealously guard her courtroom as she was required to do. But I think we would be naive if we thought that social media didn't play some kind of role in how the jury came to its decision making, because it certainly aligned with the court of public opinion.
Sunira, did Ms. Heard make a mistake by testifying, by going on the stand and airing these allegations against Mr. Depp?
I think she didn't come across as credible as a lot of people on social media especially said. But the only true defense to defamation is the truth. So she had to get on the stand and prove that what she said in that op-ed was in fact true. And that's why her lawyers put her on the stand. That's why her lawyers put her through that excruciating detail by detail, count by count analysis of what her marriage was like to Johnny Depp in an attempt to prove that even if it was found that the op-ed was about Johnny Depp, every single thing she said was true. The only true defense when it comes to a defamation case like this one.
All right. Lastly, before I let you go, Sunira, why were people so fascinated and hooked on this trial? Millions were watching it every day on YouTube.
I think, of course, you had star power, but I think what really captivated people was the flipping on its head of the Me Too narrative. It was really the case of the other Me Too victims. This was a case for those victims that believed that they were the subject of unfair, untrue sexual assault or sexual harassment allegations, and that were financially ruinous for them. Johnny Depp said his life was over after these sexual assault allegations were made against him, domestic abuse accusations were made against him, and he wanted his life back. And this is really what captivated, I think, North America. It captivated society because we really wanted to see How are those uncomfortable allegations going to be dealt with in court? And how has society changed since 2018 when every allegation of Me Too virtually was accepted? This was a very uncomfortable case with very sensitive data. But what we see is that when unfair allegations are levied, when financially ruinous allegations are levied, people are going to be held accountable. You can no longer make allegations online and with impunity. You cannot do that. There will be consequences. And we're seeing that where you engage in cancel culture will have consequences. And Amber Heard is reeling from her past actions today.
Sunira, thank you for sharing those insights. The case is still far from over. Let us know what you think down below in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel.